Good morning, guitar nerds. It is Christmas Eve, and I'm going to talk about something that I don't have any clue about, but I'll still tell you about it so that some of you who might not have heard about it will hear about it. Thanks Dennis Schock from Produktiv for pointing out that I could make a video about that, which is, clever. The Cites, C-I-T-E-S thing. Okay, let me tell you what I remember from reading the Gitarre and Bass article. The Gitarre and Bass. It's an article, isn't it? Article. I don't know what it is in English. I did. It's Christmas Eve and it's early. I'm still in my PJs with my Darth Vader slippers. So yeah. Hey. Cites. Apparently a lot of countries, I don't know which ones, met in somewhere, South Africa, something like this, and they decided we need to protect the forests and the woods and the rainforest stuff more, which is a good idea. They already are protecting certain woods. So we know that Brazilian rosewood is a big topic, and for years you already needed papers. I know that Thomas Blug came back to Germany with a 68, 69 Strat, and they actually stopped him because the fretboard was made from Brazilian rosewood. It is an issue. You cannot use newly newly cut down trees anymore. You can only use old stock of Brazilian rosewood. You need papers, and generally it's not worth it to go through all the hassle to have a little bit of Brazilian rosewood fretboard. So now they decided to protect the trees and the forests and our world, which is a good idea, to make all rosewood certifiable. Can we say that? Generally, where's all the wood being used? It's the furniture industry. It's maybe the car industry for whole car panels. What do we use it for? Let me see. I'm gonna grab something here. So, yeah, this thing is wood. Basswood, maple. Where's rosewood? Generally speaking, we have it on the fretboard. So right here we have this much and this much rosewood. So technically out of a rosewood tree, Palisander in Deutsch, in the German, we can get, I would say, tens of thousands or probably more fretboards. But still, it's a tree that they want to protect, and I'm not arguing with that. What does it mean for us? Well, we will very likely, on less expensive guitars, have to find different materials for fretboards. Sadly, rosewood is one of the materials. Fretboards are usually made from rosewood, ebony, or maple. So maple fretboard, not an issue, but it sounds different, it looks different, it has a brighter attack. So you can't replace a rosewood fretboard with maple. Ebony is nice, it's dense, it has a different sound, if you believe in that kind of thing, which I do. But for me personally, I never liked ebony that much because it's very dense and you see all the dirt on it much sooner. You have to clean an ebony fretboard more. So I prefer rosewood. Now that means that the industry, I heard from my friend Marcus that when they want to sell a ukulele from Germany to Switzerland, ukulele costs about 29 bucks, a very inexpensive instrument, but it has some rosewood on it. They're gonna have to get the permissions and the papers in Germany, which will cost about, 70. Then they're gonna have to get the same thing in Switzerland, and then some other permission. So in the end, that ukulele will be like 300 bucks, which means completely prohibitive to sell that instrument. What are they gonna do? I know that Warwick, I know that PRS and all these companies, they have huge stockpiles of rosewood, which of course is legal because it's already been cut down before the deadline, which is in Germany, it is January 2nd. So right around the corner. They they're going to have to go to the authorities and get permission and certifications for all that rosewood that they have, which also means for every single guitar that they're going to sell that has that rosewood on it, possibly even the ones that have already been built, they have to have certificates saying this is legal rosewood. This has been cut before those regulations came into effect. What does it mean for us? Well, according to that article, in Germany, you can, in Europe, you can travel freely with your guitars. It only becomes a problem when it becomes commercial. So I thought commercial means selling your instrument. Playing a gig is already commercial. So if you're playing a gig with an instrument that has Rosewood on it, technically that could be an issue. I highly doubt that anyone from any nature organization is going to jump on stage and rip down your guitar because you're not waving a piece of paper. I don't think that's going to happen. The guitar industry is not what these rules are made for. We're just suffering. We just have to abide by them as well because of the furniture industry. Apparently, the limit where it gets dangerous is 10 kilograms, which is about 10 kilos is a little bit more than 5 pounds. So, are we traveling with 5 pounds or 10 kilos of rosewood? Well, I hope not. This whole thing is supposed to be 3 or something. Well, obviously, let me show you my modern eagle. Here's my modern eagle. There's more rosewood on it, still not 10 kilos, but this is one that's been discussed, especially, it's Indian rosewood, it's Dalbergia, okay? And it is absolutely beautiful, the guitar sounds great and attacky because of it, but still, this is not 10 kilos, which means not an issue to travel around with it. If I want to sell it, I will have an issue, because I'm going to have to prove that I bought this before the deadline. I bought it years ago, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to have to prove that I owned this guitar and bought it without certifications, without papers, before the deadline. Which means if you own instruments that you are likely to sell at some point, I don't want to sell any of my guitars, but I have a lot of them, so I might have to do this. You simply go to your local authorities and let them know what instruments you have. How that works, I don't know. Dennis said there's a piece of paper that you fill out, the kind of a list, and you show them, these are the instruments I already own. Please, when I'm selling them, don't give me a hard time. It works like this. And the local authorities are taking care of this here in Germany. There's a long, long list. I'm posting a link below if I can find it again, where you can find your local authority to register your instruments. And that's what you have to do. They are swamped. They don't know what's going on. They are going to be run down with a lot of guitar players. We have over 1 million guitars in Germany that need to be registered, apparently. So it's a clusterfuck. But if you own a few instruments that you might want to sell, and I don't know about other countries, but I'm pretty sure the same goes for many countries in Europe. I don't know if the US is part of this deal. I would assume so. Go get your instruments registered with the authorities so that when you're selling them, it's okay and the new buyer is not getting a problem. What if I want to sell this and my new buyer says, you don't have paperwork? I'm going to say, well, but I bought this a long time ago. He's like, I can't buy it because it's not worth anything to me without that paperwork, because it doesn't have a value because I can't resell it without the paperwork. So you probably want to make sure that that happens for me. The problem is right now it's Christmas Eve. I have next week, and that's it. I have next week to take care of this. Woo! Who's going to be even working next week? This all came rather fast. Now, how far it affects this thing, my Harley Benton Signature HB42 guitar, I don't know. I wanted it to have a rosewood neck and fretboard. It has a Purple Heart neck and fretboard. Purple Heart apparently is a subcategory of rosewood, and in the rosewood rules, there are 300 different kinds of rosewood. So according to Marcus, this is not part of it. Purple Heart is fine, which is, I wanted rosewood. The factory used Purple Heart on all 3 prototypes, which I'm fine with because purple works with the pickups and the guitar sounds great and it makes it even more special. So I'm fine with Purple Heart, and especially now that we don't need papers for that, according to Marcus, but I don't know. Bubinga is also part of that. If you own a bass that has a Bubinga fretboard, Bubinga neck, a Bubinga top, read about the kinds of woods that are included in this and make sure that you are getting the paperwork for your instruments. It's a fucking hassle, but you gotta do it. I'll try to post all the relevant links under this video. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas! Wait, I gotta turn the thing on here. Because 1, 2, 3, 4 Sundays have passed, and that means it's Christmas! Jan von Triest, you a crazy motherfucker. Thanks Dieter Rüßbeck and the whole team at Guitarre and Bass for putting together all the information that fueled whatever I just said. It's probably has inconsistencies and wrong giddities in it. Please read up on it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Bye-bye.